What's up? If you're watching this right now, maybe you were in a season where a lot of people call it ghost mode. I've heard people call it hermit mode recently. Monk mode is probably the most common way to refer to this. But when you basically take some time to distance yourself from people around you, maybe you are working on a project. Maybe you are really trying to birth something into the world that is valuable for people. Maybe you're trying to create some products, you're working on a business. Maybe you are just embarking on a creative pursuit, writing something, creating art, music, anything of this nature. You're going to, as you begin to pull away from the 3D, from the external world of forms, the Maya, you're going to begin to go within. You're going to begin to go on this inner journey. People talk about the hero's journey. People talk about, the hero goes and slays the dragon. And there's all of these in all these different texts, these ancient texts, all kinds of metaphors for this. And really what's going on is you're going to be confronted with your own shadow. As human beings, we all have this dark aspect. We all consist of light and dark, just like the polarities I've been talking about recently. And Carl Jung talks about the shadow and how when we confront the shadow, we get a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's going to start coming up. It could be old wounds. It could be uncomfortable feelings, uncomfortable things about ourselves that maybe we've tried to keep below the surface. And we have many tools for this as human beings. We engage in what's called psychological projection, whereas things that are about ourselves that we don't want to acknowledge or things below the surface, we want to then project them onto other people. That's why there's this tendency with celebrities or people in the public eye to either idolize them or demonize them. And people get flip-flop back and forth between these with cancel culture and stuff like this. And you're going to be confronted with these uncomfortable things because really the more that you engage in those types of behavior with your surroundings, the more that you have going on under the surface, which you're not acknowledging. I've personally been around people where they're projecting on things so much that it becomes very obvious to me that is something about themselves where they are not acknowledging that aspect about themselves. And you see this around our culture right now so much with the virtue signaling and the canceling people and all kinds of stuff like this. And what I'm saying is, like, if you are in monk mode right now, if you are engaged in this, it's going to bring up some of these negative emotions. It's going to bring up some of those negative feelings. And understand, though, that just the same way, when you, as human beings, when we do anything worthwhile, there's always that uncomfortability that's there. There's always discomfort when we grow. When we go to the gym and we're pumping, we're getting that pump, right? Well, what is that soreness that we get? It's our muscles breaking down and then rebuilding themselves. And that's the same process of growth that we go through when we are building ourselves, like our character. And it's like we're chiseling a statue, we're chiseling away. We're looking ourselves in the mirror and being honest with ourselves, looking at our imperfections, looking at our weaknesses and saying, hey, I acknowledge this for what it is. I'm not a perfect person, but I'm going to whittle down at this sculpture and craft myself into the best version of myself that I can be, because we are our own greatest work of art. And so I just want to acknowledge your dedication right now, that you are on this path. And by going on the path, it's not going to feel the greatest all the time. There's all this idea of, like positivity all the time in spiritual communities and stuff. And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes you even need to get a little bit angry, get a little bit go into those negative emotions a bit, to be honest with yourself, and to, what you resist persists. So if you're constantly resisting any of those negative emotions, it's not saying that you need to angry in the sense where you lash out at people, but allow that anger to bubble to the surface. Allow yourself to be angry with the situations that you where in the past, or the situations where you deep down that you're not living in alignment with your values, or that you're not living in alignment with the person that you want to be. Because then that's going to be like the carrot and the stick approach, where it's like, okay, now I feel this anger at my lack of basically action, lack of not only action, but lack of integrity with myself to live in alignment with my values and my personal core beliefs. And I'm going to that's going to cause you to now step into that with some energy. It's that negative energy that's brewing there. You can swing it into the others to make it productive. That's what all successful people do. It's like they turn their pain into power. And that's what I want for you right now is, as you're watching this video, realize that all the challenges, all the bullshit, all the people in your life that have talked shit about you, people that gossip about you behind your back, if you're anything like me, you've ran into a lot of people throughout the course of your life that have told you you can't do it, people that have not believed in you, people that have like basically, you know, you've done things for them, but they essentially bit the hand that feed them. And I'm not saying this to get here and throw ourselves a pity party here for all these things. What I'm saying is that anybody that achieves success deals with this stuff. Anybody that is shining a light, it pisses a lot of people off around them because that light that you are shining is casting a shadow on the lack of what they've done. It's casting a light on their inefficiencies, on their deficiencies, and it makes them uncomfortable. It makes them angry. It makes all the bullies of the world want to come out and tear you down because you achieving success, just the fact that you've done something that you are, or even on the path, the fact that they can see that light in your eyes, the fact that they can see that you are somebody that is honest and true and good, pisses them off because they know that they're not. And what I want to acknowledge right now for everybody watching this is that you have this, it is your birthright. You know, all the ancient spiritual texts that to be happy, to live a life of abundance, to live a life where you're living life on your own terms. And if you're working on this right now, if you're working on a project, let's say that you want to make some money, or maybe you're working on some sort of form of art, it is your right, and it is your, not only right, I would argue it is your duty to create that. If you feel compelled to create, you are part of this humanity has always grown and progressed because of the people like you, because of the people that are not afraid of their own light, because of the people that are willing to step into that light and maybe even be condemned for it. And that's the risk that all of us have to take by acknowledging that aspect of ourselves, by being willing to stand apart from the crowd, by being willing to be the black sheep, by being willing to be the one that sticks out, the tall poppy in a field. You are putting yourself up to be judged by being a creative person, by being somebody who puts himself out there, by being somebody who stands for what they believe in, by being an artist, by creating, by allowing that generative, powerful, creative energy. It's like a king type energy. It's one of the masculine archetypes is the powerful masculine archetypes that the king, warrior, magician, lover. By engaging in any of these powerful archetypes, there's also powerful feminine archetypes as well. But by leaning into those and creating something, you are giving that generative energy. You are becoming a driving force. And like I said, a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like when people stand out. A lot of people want everybody to be kind of dismissive of their own qualities or dismissive of themselves and, you know, like self-deprecating all the time. They don't like when somebody is showing up and being and embodying greatness. They simply get turned off by greatness. Because again, it, by comparison, shows their lack of greatness, the lack of integrity that they have, the fact that they're going around and gossiping around about people behind their backs. And it puts it into contrast. And everybody can see then that person for what they are when they put you next to them. And it makes them uncomfortable. And I want you guys to know, all of you that are subscribed to this channel, anybody that's watching this video right now, you are unique. You are different because you are here, because you're on this path of growth. It means that you are willing, you have the courage to do this. And take this as a sign, take this as a boost that you do have the power to do this. When you're in this mode right now of distancing yourself from others, of isolation, you're going to be going through it. You're going to be looking at yourself in the mirror, looking at yourself into your own eyes. You can use the gazing practice to do this and step into the uncomfortable, get into the thickets of whatever it is. You know, acknowledge the darker aspects of yourself, acknowledge yourself for all that you are, and integrate it. The best successful people have integrated the shadow, and they're able to use that shadow, that dark energy, in a way that's productive and actually positive for others, not in a way that's destructive towards others. Because we all have it. We have to be honest with ourselves. Human beings, that's why all these ancient texts, like, they all are saying the same thing. We have the capacity for good. We also have the capacity for evil. We also have everything in between. We are gray. We are a mass of shades of gray, like I always talk about on this channel. So use those impulses that you might have. Use that anger. Use that dark energy that you have to become a wizard but not like a black magician who's going to go down tearing other people down with black magic. Just to acknowledge that you have both. You have that light energy, you have that dark energy, and use it to fuel you into what you decide, because it's ultimately your decision. Do you want to channel all of this energy that you have into something that's going to be destructive, that's going to tear down other people and tear down yourself, really? Because that's what you do when you condemn yourself. That's what you do when you say, I'm not good enough for this, that, and the other. That's what you do when you say, I'm not going to go for this thing that I want to go for, is you're using that black magic on yourself, or you're accepting the black magic from other people. Or are you going to use your magic to create something that other people can benefit from? And that's really going to be something that's, like I said, some people might not like it. Anybody that achieves success, you have a million people out here that don't like somebody's work. Like take any artist, right? Picasso. Everybody thought his art was terrible. Some people still think his art's terrible. A lot of people think he's an artistic genius. That's just the path that we as creative people walk on when we accept that, when we decide to be somebody who's playing in the field instead of sitting in the stands and being that armchair critic, that keyboard warrior that all these people have decided to be nowadays. All those people that are creating channels that all they do is gossip about people. All they do is talk about people behind their back. Are you going to be like them? Or are you going to be one of the people that decides to step into the arena and play the game on the field? And that's what I believe that you are here to do, my friend. So with that being said, guys, much love as always. Drop this video with a like, hit me with a subscribe. Allow this part of your life, allow this phase where you are entering into this hermit phase, this ghost mode, monk mode, to be beneficial to you. And realize that by doing this, it's not that you're going to stay there forever, but it's that you're going to come out with a new understanding about yourself. You're going to come out with more so that you can actually be more and give more to the people that you care about, give more to the people in your life by going through this. You know, we need those times of extroversion where we're social, where we're out there doing things with people. And we also need the times where we come into ourselves, where we come back to our own energy and we contemplate and we come up with ideas. And this is where we're able to, you know, all the biggest geniuses like Tesla, Albert Einstein, you know, the kind of greatest minds, philosophers, Plato, all these people talk about how when you're in a state of being solitary and solitude is when you come up with your best ideas. And that's what I want for you right now. So with that being said, guys, much love as always. Drop this with a like, hit me with a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.